Okay, shalom, shalom. This is Matatia, and I'm going to show you real quickly how I make. These are my very first set of 100% linen Tzitziyots. Okay, these are sort of like a lavender color with the blue cord. Now what I did is I took the lavender, as you can see, this beautiful 100% linen yarn, chunky yarn. It's thick, but it took me about a year and a half, if not 2 years, to find a good deal on 100% linen cord, because it is very expensive if you've tried to find any yourself. So what I did, these were the only two colors that were available. So when I talked to the supplier, he said that maybe the lavender would dye to a blue. So I just purchased some blue dye, fabric dye, in my local craft store, and I actually dyed the lavender linen cord to a blue in order to get the Tzitziyot, or the blue cord for my Tzitziyot that's required for the Tzitziyot. So you can do that. If you can't find a particular color, you want to get something in the color range, and it will dye a little bit better to match that color. Okay, and so I had already started on my lavender Tzitziyot sets, and so I'm just going to show you real quick how I do this. I'll show you right quick. These are my lime green, and I have a beautiful lime green dress to go along with this. It's a nice, beautiful lime green dress that will go nice with these Tzitziyots. Hope you can see that. They're very, very beautiful. Linen is just awesome. It is spoken of in Torah and Tanakh over and over and over again. So it's just the cloth of the Kodashim, the righteous and the set-apart peoples of Yahuwah. So I have my table here. Now, earlier when I did a Tzitziyot tutorial, I had a smaller table, but this is a huge table. But it does have a little dividing line right here where I fold it together. So that's generally what I use to mark my thread for my Tzitziyot. So once I get my first one cut, I can go on and use the first cut to measure the other cuts. Now with my linen thread, because it's so chunky, all I need is 2 cuts. I don't use more than 2 cuts. That's what you're seeing here. And as you can see, that's a nice full Tzitziyot. But that's just 2 cuts of the color thread, and then of course my pre-cut Tzitziyot or blue thread that I'm using here. Pretty much it's the same thing that I showed on my first tutorial, and that is to even the thread up. Okay, see, you even it up, and then what you're going to do is right at your fold, you're going to make a knot. This is basically what's going to hold your Tzitziyot in place whenever you're trying to attach it or pin it to your garment. Okay, and as you can see there, there's that little knot that I make. Okay, so you make the knot, and then what you're going to do is make another knot. You're going to make a loop almost. Okay, so just bring that up until it forms, twist it and knot it until it forms a loop. See that? And here are your threads. But there's a knot here to form a loop, and there's that first knot. Okay? Alright. I'm going to get a little closer here so you can kind of see. So I'm going to use my clamp that's on my table. Just a little trusty, heavy-duty clamp. And let me adjust my camera here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Where's my hand? Okay. Okay. Basically what I do is I separate the thread or the cords with 3 on each side. These are, this thread is really chunky, so I tried the twist, I think they're called the Chinese staircase, with these, but it did not look that great. It was fine. I mean, it was pretty, but I just like the braids better. These are some small ones that I did for my mom. She liked the small ones, okay, because she's elderly and she can't fuss with a whole lot of things, you know, and clothing. So she liked the small ones, and I made these for her. Now, as you can see, that's braided. Okay. So I like the braids, but I like to be a little elaborate with mine, so I kind of did the double braids. See that? It just kind of gives it an open, fresh looking look to it. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. I hope you can see. I'm going to try to zoom in a bit here now. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Trying to work this camera myself. Alright. So I'm going to start out, and basically I'm just going to braid, just like you're braiding your hair. It will get kind of twisted up on you, so you want to separate them as best you can, okay? That way, and you want to braid and pull tight like that. Pull your fingers all the way through the braid, or else it'll start braiding itself down here, and then your cloth will get all mixed up, tangled. Okay, so you want to all pull your fingers through like that. If not for every one, maybe every second or third one. But you don't want to keep braiding and keep braiding while they twist and tangle at the bottom. Okay, so you see that already is forming a braid there. A small braid. Okay, so you get about 3-inch braid here. Then you can stop there and pick your other side up. And I just usually kind of wrap mine around my clamp here to get it out of the way. And then I start on my other side. And so I want to do the same thing on this side, and that is form about a 3-inch braid on this side. And as you can see, I'm pulling my fingers through so that my cord does not get tangled. I cheated a little bit. Just for the sake of the camera, I'm kind of trying to go a little faster here. But you can do that. You can do a few and just kind of pull it out. Alright, so that should be good enough. Let me check. Yeah. And so they're both braided up for about, I say about 3 inches. I don't have my tape measure with me, but I guesstimate on it, you know. So once you do that, you want to take and knot right at the end of the braid. Right at the end now. Okay, so you want to pull it through until you see a knot right there at the end of the braids, okay? That way you can pull them apart and it gives it that nice open look. See that? Okay, now I'm going to continue. I'm going to zoom. Yeah, in a little bit. Uh-oh, not too much. My Ish is not here to help me, so He's usually good at these things. So anyway, I'm gonna continue after I make that knot at the end of my braids. I'm going to continue with one side, braiding on this side, and then I'll come back and braid on that side. Like I said, you really have to fish around, and you really have to look for good prices on linen cord, linen yarn, because it is expensive. I mean, I have searched and searched and searched for almost 2 years, and I have not found a clean cheaper than $20. Seriously. And so not at a volume like this. Now that's a lot of thread, but you look at that, you're thinking, okay, I can buy cotton thread, this much cotton thread for $10. Okay, that's not so for linen thread. Linen thread and yarn is way more. Okay, even buying thread, sewing machine thread, and I don't think they make linen sewing machine thread. I may be wrong, but I have not been able to find any sewing machine thread. Now I found linen thread. Okay, so I finished that about 3 inches down, so I'm gonna start over here on my other side. See that? Okay. As I was saying, I have not been able to find linen sewing machine thread. So if anybody got any ideas out there, please let me know. Because I would like to make garments, my linen garments, with 100% linen thread. But I would like to make them on my sewing machine. But I would make them with by hand if I have to, because that's how I started out before my Ish brought me my first sewing machine. I actually use my hands to sew. Okay? Okay. So as you can see there, I've come down again with my braids another 3 inches, about 3 inches. And so what I'm going to do again is to tie a knot at the end of my braids. Now, okay, so I'm almost done. With my linen cord, because it's so expensive, I want it to last and last and last. I take the tips of my fringes, and I'm basically going to put a little knot right at the end of each one of my fringes. Why? Because I don't want it to fray and look a genuine mess. So I am going to combat that, hopefully, by putting a knot right at the end of the thread here. Linen is very, very beautiful. It feels so good on your skin. It just makes you feel like, you know, you're set apart unto the Most High Yahuwah whenever you wear linen. And I hadn't worn mine in so long, my linen pieces, because I did not have linen Tzitziyots to wear with them, and I did not want to mix the garment. My wardrobe is primarily cotton, and so I have dozens of cotton Tzitziyots. Now I'm going to zone back out a bit here so that you can see my okay. All right. That's my work. I got 3 here. I thought I had made 4. But I guess I got one more to make for this particular set. Okay, see how beautiful that is? But I just wanted to show you, okay, how easy it is to make your linen tzitziyots for your linen garment, excuse me. See that? Hold on just a moment. I'm going to see if I can find my garment that I was telling you about.